Well, good evening to you. This 20th day of March 2018. Welcome to the broadcast. This is KUTV News at 8. Hope your day turned out as expected and you're ready to be informed about the latest developments. My name is Rodgers. So glad you can join us for the next 30 minutes or so. So let's get right into it and take a look at the stories taking center stage tonight. Wetangula ousted as Senate Minority Leader, Orengo replaces him. African continental free trade in the offing as African leaders expected to converge. Promises versus implementation, digital literacy program put under the scope. Ian Snook appointed new 15s aside head coach. Welcome to the broadcast. Janet Nyaboke is our sign language interpreter. On our main story tonight, poor garbage disposal is a major concern for Ongata Rongai, especially Kware dwellers. The onset of rains has raised fears that the poor disposal culture could lead to disease outbreaks. In our environment feature tonight, our reporter explores the problem of poor garbage disposal and the impacts it has caused and what needs to be done to ensure town dwellers live in a cleaner environment.
Ongata Rongai, a town at the outskirts of Nairobi, popularly known as Diaspora, not because of the distance, but the time it takes to get there from Nairobi's central business district due to traffic. Do you ever wonder why there is so much traffic in Rongai, save maybe the obvious? The drive brings one to the reality of poor garbage disposal. This area is more than 17 kilometers out of the Nairobi Central Business District, but the low level of hygiene raises questions. With all the growth that Ongata Rongai boasts of, nobody would imagine that there is no sewer system in place and the drainage system is in a deplorable state due to litter. A mission lands us to Kiserian, where we meet Moses Maingi, a resident who once lived in Ongata Rongai but later resolved to move to Kiserian, explains his reasons.
I was driven by the financial need. But then I came up to find myself in an environmental predicament. That is the way Kware is. There's no drainage, better housing, nothing, and waste is everywhere.
The father of 6 says his frequent visit to the health centers became a growing concern.
Mosquitoes, bad smells. It was costly. Having children, getting ill, take them to hospital, pay a lot of money, bring them back to Kware again, they get ill. That story had to end. I had to look for another place to stay where I could be sure that children are safer, healthier, the environment is good, no smoking.
However, despite the setbacks, Maingi decided to be a champion for environment.
There is no proper systems to collect garbage. Human beings need to be responsible.
His request to the county government.
Planning failed in Kware. So replanning, what they have to do now, and I'm afraid they are behind time.
The lack of a sewer system gives property owners an exorbitant task of engaging exhauster services to pump out sewage waste either weekly, bi-weekly or monthly. Some property owners, after incurring a high cost engaging exhauster services, have found an alternative of pumping sewage into trenches, leading to drainage by the roads. This is done when the septic tank gets filled. As a result, most of the garbage finds its way to the source and drainage channels. Additionally, the veil of darkness presents the dwellers an opportunity to dump their refuse in the same alleys they walk through during daylight. Poor garbage disposal is a major concern for the authorities in Rongai. Uncollected garbage often finds its way in the open water sources, thereby locking them.
Quarry is not sewered. Quarry is not sewered. It is served by pit latrine.
This creates fear that the ongoing rains might lead to waterborne diseases, including cholera, typhoid, dysentery, and others.
Ukikuja hapa after 2 days utakuta nini? Uchafu, kwa sababu ni watu wanatoa uchafu bali. Uchafu hata munaona hapa sio ya hapa, wakati mwingine ni uchafu imetolewa bali inakuja kumwagwa hapa.
According to the United Nations Executive Officer Eric Solheim, something can be done.
Number one is to say whatever waste which can be reused, turn into a business opportunity, should look for that. Many plastic products, for instance, can be turned into recycled into new plastic products. If it's a waste of food, well, it can be turned into fertilizer, it can be maybe eaten by animals. There are so many waste products which can be an opportunity for new jobs, better jobs, and for getting people out of poverty.
And with a growing population, developing countries have to embrace sustainability.
Both attitudes of the people, but also political leaders can change people's attitude, and business making products which make it much more easy to be environment friendly.
On the other hand, UN Environment Soraya Somaun states that greener cities can only be attained if we have air, water and transport sectors that are controlled as per the growing population.
You can very much promote greener cities by, at the level of the city managers, have more parks, have more green areas, and at the level of the population and the kind of, NGOs and community group, having the awareness starting there.
In 2006, a report titled Solid Waste Management in Kenya read that out of the 1,200 to 1,500 tons of garbage is estimated to be generated in Kware, Rongai per day. Only 400 to 500 tons were collected. Most Rongai residents lack a garbage sorting culture. As a result, all garbage is mixed up, making it hard to collect and dispose. Most of the garbage collected ends up in the infamous Dandora dump site, a landfill struggling to meet the requirements of a rising population. The landfill is an environmental threat to the surrounding community. One can only hope that the current environmental projects will bear fruit, especially now that the world is facing climate change and global warming. Irene Mwangi, Kware, Kajiado County.
Thank you. Now moving on, one of the Jubilee government promises given during the 2013 general elections, which has moved a milestone, is a laptop for schools promise, now called the Digital Literacy Program. The Jubilee project, which aims at building ICT skills as a third life skill alongside literacy and numeracy, has however encountered a couple of gaps in its implementation. Our reporter highlighted those issues and now tells us more.
During the launch of his presidential campaign in 2013, President Uhuru Kenyatta gave a promise that most political pundits will argue was a political lie, that upon joining the equivalent of grade 1, every child in a public school will be given a laptop. It is almost 6 years since the Laptop for School promise, now called the Digital Literacy Program, was launched, and with 30 billion of the taxpayers' money having been injected in the program, it is ample time to check its effectiveness. The journey to a new digital era in primary schools takes us to St. Elizabeth Primary School in Mukuruko Ruben slums. From our assessment, it will denote that indeed students are benefiting from the laptop project. The ratio of the tablets to the Class 1 student was 1:1 when the digital learning program started in the school. However, the increasing enrollment of Class 1 pupils seems to leave out some students.
Shortage, the ratio was 1:1, but this year we have a challenge because our enrollment has gone high, and therefore we have a deficit of 5 laptops.
Among the challenges of this project in public primary school with a large population is that the lecture is only allocated 35 minutes, yet it takes more time to even teach a concept to the Class 1 kids.
Alafu ukifungua uambie pengine ni Kiswahili, wengine wanakimbia kwa science. So hiyo kucontrol kila mtoto inakuwa ni challenge sana.
Even though the teachers are grateful to the government for the project, they still decry that there are gaps that need to be filled.
So anytime we have a prolonged power blackout, then it means that we are not going to use the laptops the following day. Another challenge is that these laptops take long before they get fully charged.
Private schools on their end have decried the exclusion from the Jubilee government laptop project. Some have been forced to buy the laptops to be at par with the major redesign in the educational infrastructure. Kasarani Junior Primary is one of the schools that has managed to keep up with the trends. A stark variance of the digital learning program is, however, displayed at a community school in Mukurukwa Ruben slums. Gatoto Primary School, a school that majorly depends on donor funding, has no laptops or electricity. For them, they are grappling with challenges of lack of textbooks, stationery, and lack of social amenities.
1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 balls, isn't it?
Because it's a community school, it is in the slums, it is in the informal communities. So you find also getting these laptops and rolling it out in the school, it's a bit challenging.
It is feared that the Class 1 children in Gatoto Primary will be left behind as compared to their counterparts in public and private schools.
Hey, a good crab. Good. So here we have...
I think the government, through its policy, it will be better for them to plan for every child. Maybe even if it means like subsidizing the cost for the tablets to the children who are not in the public schools, so that it also becomes affordable.
The teachers in Gatoto have decried that teacher training in ICT, curriculum structures and learning material in the new digital learning program is what they are not sure of achieving as compared to the public and private schools.
It might appear very easy for you to talk about giving a laptop to a child in class 1, but is it easier also for the same child to also have a rubber which costs like one shilling?
Even so, no donors have come up to support the project in the school, which is located in Mukurukwa Ruben slums. As if this is not punishing enough, most of the teachers in the school are not computer literate.
You find that there are teachers with the skills on how to use the computers, but there are others who are not fully equipped with the skills.
The cry from the teachers and the parents of Gatoto Primary School is that finally the Jubilee government laptop project will come to their school.
Manake tunajua kuwa mwanafunzi akiwa shuleni hakuna mwanafunzi wa serikali na hakuna mwanafunzi wa binafsi. Manake hata ile silabasi tunatumia ni silabasi ambayo tunatumia wanafunzi wote.
It is one of the most hyped Jubilee government promise that has costed taxpayers 30 billion shillings, with the gaps identified in the digital learning program. Until the government fill the gaps, the project will not really accomplish its objective. Irene Mwangi, KUTV, Nairobi.
Thank you. Now, Nairobi Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko is said to appear before the Senate Committee on Roads to explain the city's poor drainage system following the heavy downpour. In the meantime, heavy rainfall continues to take lives and render roads impassable. Mariana Muli with more details.
Heavy downpours rendered roads in Baringo South impassable, with vehicles plying Marigat Mochogoi Road finding it difficult to get into their destination on time. Most of them who are businessmen lament that the road is always impassable during rainy seasons, which results into heavy losses as they are forced to go through Nakuru, then Nyahururu before reaching their destination. Other than the sort of state of the road, security along the road is wanting. The government had gazetted Arabal Kasiela in Temo region as dangerous as bandits take advantage of the situation, with Mochongoi Ward MCA Kipruto Kimosop accusing Kara for sleeping on the job of maintaining the road, which has proven to be a nightmare to the road users.
And we want to ask them to mobilize whatever resources at their disposal to ensure that while they are doing the other link that goes to Mautetu and Sibili, this other route is also fast-tracked. Because, I mean, the suffering that these people are going through is just enormous. The security situation here is such that we actually need this road.
This comes barely a month after Deputy President William Ruto launched Mochogoi Karandi Road, which was aimed at improving transportation in the area. As rains continue to pour across the country, more lives continue to be at risk. 2 children died on Sunday when their house was swept away by floods in Maguini County. 6 other people were injured when their houses were washed away as the evidence continued in several parts of the country. In Magarini, Kilifi County, more than 250 families were displaced by raging floods after Riba Sabaki burst its banks. 3 children have died in the recent days in the area after they were swept away by floods at Kisiki Chamzungu in Magarini constituency, Kilifi County. In Naivasha, a section of the repaired Maimayu Narok Road caved in just a few days after it was repaired. Evidence in Maimayu town and its environs on Saturday night were blamed for the new crisis, which saw the police close one lane of the busy road. Mariana Moli for KUTV News, Nairobi.
Well, that leads us to a short break right here on KUTV News at 8. Don't go too far. We'll be back with more information. Stay with us.